You are listening to the Armada EW podcast with your host Tom Withington at the controls. Multi-domain operations, or MDO, promise to revolutionize combat through unprecedented connectivity for platforms, sensors, weapons and troops. Multifunctional electronic warfare is a key step towards enabling true MDO. Discussing this with me today is Anthony Nigara, VP of Strategy and Business Development for L3Harris Technologies, Space and Airborne Systems Business. Anthony, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate being here.
How is multifunction EW different from conventional electronic warfare?
Yeah, it's different in a couple of ways. First of all, multifunction electronic warfare and the systems that it's built upon are truly software-defined. It's really moving solutions from hardware-defined systems that are built of antennas, sensors, processors, into really common open architecture solutions that ultimately are built in such a way that they can be upgraded rapidly and move throughout the spectrum seamlessly. They also bring together functions outside of traditional electronic warfare, like communications, radar, intelligence functions that can be hosted and brought to bear in a true software-defined manner.
What does multifunction EW contribute to MDO?
Yes, from a multi-domain perspective, the spectrum is really pervasive throughout all domains, right? It becomes the interoperability, how we utilize space, how we utilize air, connectivity between and throughout all of domains really resides within the spectrum. When you think about electronic warfare, when you think about multifunction systems, they really need to operate within the electromagnetic spectrum. They need to make sure that there's interoperability across all of these functions. And if you have those centralized in an open architecture manner, that allows the systems to seamlessly operate through changing capabilities on the fly from EW to others. It allows that interoperability to occur across domains. If each of your systems is software-defined, you can sort of build interoperability in from the get-go versus having bespoke standalone solutions built on platforms unique to those domains. So in a way, it's kind of a cornerstone enabler for multi-domain operations. It's foundational and is necessary to move forward.
Anthony, a few years back, we were all talking about network-centric warfare. From your perspective, how does MDO differ from net-centric warfare?
I think they're somewhat similar in that, when we talk about net-centric warfare, it really focuses in on the interconnectivity that's absolutely required to enable multi-domain operations. When you think about network-centric capabilities, you really focus on the data links. But MDO is much more than that. It's the data links plus the command and control infrastructure. It's the situational awareness that is required across domains simultaneously to understand what's going on within space, within air, within ground, surface operations, and in the spectrum all at once. So I think that's the piece that really differentiates MDO from net-centric, is instead of just focusing on the data links and the interconnectivity, it's also about the command and control that rides on top of that.
What steps must be taken to make multifunction EW a reality?
A lot of those steps are very much underway today. If you look at where industries are headed with hardware advancements, a lot of the capabilities out there today are based off of open architecture standards, leveraging commercial technologies that has been well underway for many years. So I think taking sort of best-of-breed commercial with open standards that need to be pervasive throughout industry, we're very close to having that today. The next steps are really understanding how do we create open standards from a software perspective. What are those APIs that allow us to separate out the hardware development from the software applications that ride on top of it, so that one vendor's electronic warfare capabilities and another's radar and communications can live within the same hardware architecture without sort of continuous rework and integration. So I think that's the step that's very much underway and still needs to be worked out, is how does that integration across multiple companies and multiple entities occur on the software side. But the hardware's been heading there for many years, and we've got those capabilities well at hand. Now it's time for the software to really catch up.
When might we see multifunction EW supporting MDO, and when will we know when we get there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're starting to see that today. There are systems that talk about multifunction capabilities in air and ground, and it's really taken from an interoperability perspective to make sure that, again, systems can seamlessly operate within the spectrum. So I think what's really going to change is when customer buying behaviors alter. We are just starting to see requirements for multifunction systems come out today, and once that starts to happen, we will respond as an industry and provide those multifunction solutions. So I'll say we're in the early stages of talking about multifunction, but they're still within procurements that are aligned to the individual subsystems. So our customers still procure sort of standalone electronic warfare solutions or standalone radars, but we are just starting to see the requirement and the programs come out that ask for true multifunction. So it's a little bit of a demand function that's got to pull through those needs. So I think within the next several years, we'll see several of these systems start to be fielded and truly operate.
Anthony, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate it.
Don't forget, there's more electronic warfare news and analysis at armadainternational.com/electronic warfare. That's all for now. Thanks for listening.